Hi there folks, my name's NovaWing24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for all your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. Alrighty folks, so here we are once again on Sunday the 9th of April 2017 and we are here for another exciting week of simulation releases. Now we're going to get started this week with a one that was released this week and also last week, if that kind of makes sense at all, but a little weird. Anyway, but let's get to it. So X-Plane 11, of course, as we know, is now fully available. It is out of beta and it is fully available in the simulation world. And this week we saw the for the Steam edition version of X-Plane 11, we saw the release of a new Aerosoft scenery, the airport Antalya. So this is for the this is the Antalya from the city of Antalya, located in Turkey, and is famed for being a very beautiful destination in the Mediterranean for a lot of tourists around the world to go and visit, and part of the Turkish Riviera. Now this has been released as the first piece of DLC for X-Plane 11 Steam Edition, but it was also released last week actually, and I did miss it, so sorry for everybody else. If you did want it for X-Plane 10, or you want it for X-Plane 11, then you don't have the Steam Edition version of X-Plane 11. It is available for you from Aerosoft's website, available now. So yeah, the airport overall is looking quite nicely. It was done in-house by Aerosoft. I'm guessing possibly from the sound of things for as a platform for a different sim, but it's been converted over to X-Plane, so looking not too bad. Combination, as we usually see, for the beautiful photoreal scenery for the ground, and also some beautiful high definition textures for the buildings and vehicles, as well as some static aircraft populating the airport. I really need to dig around a bit more in X-Plane to look at their live traffic. But anyway, in the meantime, though, yes. So if you are looking for an escape into the Turkish Riviera, this is probably going to be an airport that you may want to visit. So there's, as I said, the Steam Edition version is available now for $18, and the non-Steam version is available now for the same price of $18. So yeah, as I said, looking not too bad, looking like a very nice airport to go on to some travels with, available now for your X-Plane simulation pleasure. Alright, moving on into other simulators. So we've got the guys over at IPAX have updated their Aerofly FS 2 again. So we've got another piece of free content for this one. This has been given to us now, the State of Utah. So it gives us an additional 20 odd airports, including Salt Lake City, and a couple of airports in the Monument Valley area, as well as some beautiful high resolution photoreal terrain with up to 1 meter resolution. So look, again, Aerofly FS2, I've had a muck around with it again. It's getting there, but it's still not a full-fledged sim. It is still a iOS app with PC quality graphics. I still have some issues with it, but look, I must admit that it is kind of growing on me, and that's kind of scary. It really kind of is. The biggest problem though is just it's a dead world. It is an absolute dead world. But anyway, but yes. So as I said, this is a free piece of DLC available now. You just need to jump onto your Steam client and click play now in order to have it added to your library. It is not automatically added to your library, just so you know that. So, but as I said, it's coming in for free, not too bad. Yes, you can't argue with the price, and gives you a bit more places to fly with some better resolutions. As it available now for Aerofly FS2 on Steam. Alrighty, moving on to other flight simulation releases this week. So we saw a couple of things added to the ESP world. So the first one we saw the addition of Just Sim's latest release, which is for Luxembourg's Findel Airport. So Findel Airport is the only paved runway airport in Luxembourg. I didn't realize this until I was doing a bit of research on it, and it was an interesting claim, and no, it is true. And is obviously the busiest, like our only international airport in being in the Principality. and is home to one of the world's most successful and busiest cargo airlines, Cargo Lux. So that's there you go. Now this one has is fully compatible with FTX Global OpenLC Europe, which is nice and good to see, and but maintains backwards compatibility back to default. Includes beautiful high resolution ground textures, custom baked runway textures as well, high resolution building textures, and fully compatible AFCADs for AI traffic as well. Always useful for those who like having their skies into life. It's got some beautiful looking night effects as well, and seasonal variations, automatic changing of seasonal variations with the change in the sim as well, which is nice. You don't have to actually do a tool to actually sort of force the change, which is nice. One thing which I thought was a bit odd, and I'm starting to see this pop up a lot with Just Sim releases, and there's another developer as well, I've seen it as well, where they seem to push the product out, but they seem to then promise stuff coming in the future. So, for example, if this particular release, they're promising support of the animated SOD jetways, but they're supporting it in two weeks' time, and not at release. I kind of think that they should have just stopped and just waited and let it sit on the shelf until it was ready and release it as like fully. But personal thing. I don't like developers releasing stuff half baked. I really don't. If you're going to release something, release it properly. But anyway, that's a personal thing, not specifically related to Just Sim, but just a personal thing across a lot of developers I notice. If you're going to release something complete. Don't release and say, oh yeah, we'll add this stuff to it later. I promise we will. Just wait and release it properly. Anyway, all right, and this is, as I said, this is available now over at Sim Market, coming in at about $20 or your regional equivalent. Available now at Sim Market. Alrighty, in another release, also it's currently exclusive to Sim Market, is the latest release from Mex High Flight. As you may have guessed, Mex High Flight specialize in Mexican airports, and this one, of course, is no exception. This is the Exapta. Why am I even bothering trying to pronounce this? Ixtapa Hindro International Airport, Guerrero State in Mexico. There you go, near the Pacific Ocean. There you go. It's ICAO Mike Zulu Hotel. I love ICAOs because it just saves my ass so many times. Anyway, so this is an update of the airport as it appears in 2016. So complete with some redevelopment and enlarged and expanded terminal buildings, and more parking for incoming flights as well. It's a single runway airport, so which is it makes it a very busy single runway airport as well. Full photoreal scenery in the background as well. Look, it's not looking too bad. I think the surrounding photoreal is kind of a bit mixed, but overall it's not looking too bad, and coming in at again around about $25 for this release or your regional equivalent. Overall looking not too bad. I think possibly a bit exy for it, but it does maintain a lot of compatibility with a lot of stuff that a lot of the tubeliner flyers enjoy, including a full compatibility with GSX as well, which is always good to see for you guys, and does maintain full compatibility with the Orbix family, including Global Vector and the FDX Global packs as well. And it was also apparently from the developer recommend Orbix HD trees. So again, I must only assume that it does refer to Orbix HD trees as well. Again, I've really got to chat up with the Orbix guys to check on their terms and conditions of using and assigning that stuff. But anyway, as I said, overall looking not too bad. Updated land class of the surrounding city. But again, this release primarily is just the city. Is just the airport and not the surrounding region too much. So there you go. Anyway, as I said, available now from Sim Market, coming in at about $25 or your regional equivalent. Available now. Alrighty, in other ESP releases this week, we saw the long-awaited SimWorks Studios F4B and N Phantom 2 finally make its version 1.0 milestone release. So, this has been lurking around for about a year now, and came out sort of fairly quietly in an open beta in around about June last year. or at the height of Milvis's release of the later Phantom models. So the big thing for this one is that it is an early model Phantom and has all the quirks that go with an earlier model Phantom. Now, what's I've noticed as well is that SimWorks have partnered up with Just Flight to co-release it as well. So it is available from the Just Flight store and available from the SimWorks Studios web store as well. Overall, look, this is looking not too bad. I haven't fired this one up since the second last round of the beta, so I've just grabbed my updated copy today. So I'm hoping to bring this one for you as well and see what improvements they've made. But overall, it is looking pretty damn amazing visually. It looks absolutely stunning. Along with this one, you do get a version of the USS Coral Sea, customized for use with AI carriers and designed for use with the Phantom and the way it's set up. So you get the F4B and N. You get two different cockpit models based on whether it's an early variant or a later variant. You get the sound pack. As far as it does only though have a single flight model, so it looks like it's going to be a balanced one between the two variants, probably focused more along the F4B variant. So yes, available now from the guys over there, coming in at a really not a bad price for the quality of the product. Coming in at €40, and this one is fully compatible with the full range of platforms, so it's compatible with FSX Classic, FSX Steam Edition, and Lockheed Martin's Preferred 3D version 2 and 3. Look, the other cool thing as well that really for me sets it apart from the Milvis one is the fact that it is fully set up and designed to work with TACPack from the outset. There's no extra having to buy extra versions of it or buy a second version of it if you want the actual TACPack functionality. The TACPack functionality is fully included and up to date, ready to go in the actual release. So you don't have to worry about getting extra stuff for it. It's already there in the box, ready to go, along with the reliability issues that some of the early Sparrows had as well. Beautifully, very well modeled, that one. So yes, as I said, available now from the SimWorks Studios website or available from Just Flight, available now. Alrighty, in other flight simulation aircraft release news this week, so the guys over at Blackbox Simulations. So, again, they seem to be changing tack and going towards a lot more the lighter aircraft at the moment. So a few weeks ago, we saw the release of their Scottish Aviation Bulldog, which is a personal favourite of mine, and I did a review of that aircraft on the channel here. This week they've come out with a new one, so they've come out with the Cessna L19 Bird Dog. So the Bird Dog is a really cool little aircraft. It's basically, it was designed to replace the Piper Grasshopper from the Second World War, and it was just sort of designed in the late 40s and produced and came forward to that with brings something new, something a bit different, and Cessna basically took the tail of a Cessna 195, the wings of Cessna 170B, threw together a new fuselage, and then said, have at it with this, and it proved to be an incredibly durable and incredibly reliable design. It was very simple, very easy, simple to construct, very easy to maintain, and would go on and serve well into the 1980s. Primarily, they would be used by US forces, US Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marines, but it would actually see its way into hands into many other air forces as well, and of course now on their way into the hands of warbird collectors around the world. As I said, it's looking very interesting. You've got some it's beautiful animations are present in this one. I'm looking forward to actually, I've just got my copy. I'm looking forward to actually putting it through its paces and see what it looks like. But overall, it's got a very interesting history, and I really am going to be interested to try it out and see what it's like, and see if we get the same sort of attention to detail that we saw in the Bulldog that we're actually going to get in this one as well. But yes, if you do want to give it a try now and head it out, you can grab it now from the guys over at Blackbox Simulations website. Available now for €16, or your regional equivalent. Available now for FSX Steam Edition and P3D versions 2 and 3. Available now. Alrighty, in other simulation release news this week, moving away from the flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way. So we saw a few releases for train simulators this week. So the first one we saw was something that I've sort of heard about around the peripherals of the simulation world, but never had much exposure to it myself. Is EEP Train Simulator Mission. So this actually is based on a platform which is pretty much almost exclusively a German platform, so very little distribution outside of the German market. And that's been going for 20 years and specializing in train simulation and doing very realistic sort of physics and very realistic ways of doing things. They've come out with a modern version called EEP Train Simulator Mission. So what this does, it gives you a full physics, train physics and environmental physics to be brought into it. It gives you signaling representations, gives you lots of different career and mission specific modes as well. And it goes through with a very interesting way of looking at the detail of it. Graphically, it's not doesn't look as polished as something like Dovetail Games Train Simulator or their new Train Sim World does. However, it's still looking very solid and looks to be very in depth with the way it does it. Not just in terms of both the train operations themselves and the way they interact with their environment. So very looking at this one. So this comes with a range of missions as well as the career mode, as I said. Looking very interesting. It's the base platform has been kicking around for almost 20 years. So it's gone through a lot of iterations and a lot of overall overhauls over the years. But this is the first time really that it's really gone into the non-German market and looking very interesting, as I said. This company, the guys that produce this one, pride themselves on making it very realistic and very realistic representations of physics and the sound and the way of actually doing it and they're planning additional scenarios in the near future. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one goes and how it tackles onto other things as well. So yes, as I said, this one's coming in very quite affordable as well when it comes to train sims, coming in at $20 available now on Steam. Alrighty, in other releases on the permanent way this week. So going back to, of course, the perennial, reliable one for the Train Simulator releases, the guys over at Dovetail Games and their Train Simulator 2017. We've got the release of two related releases this week. So the first one we saw was a new route, which is the Southwest China high-speed route. So this is over 500 kilometers of high-speed rail network, as part of the Southwest China high-speed network. Of course, China has the largest high-speed network of any country in the world, and given its size, that kind of makes sense of being able to get somewhere quickly. But yes, this one gives you a lot of huge set of the set of the tracks. As I said, 570 kilometers of the high-speed network, including the Chengdu-Suning routes, the Suning to Nanchong routes, Nanchong to Quikong, and Wusheng to Gugan. I'm certain I've got all of those names wrong, but you get the deal. It's a huge amount of sets of track that you get in here as well. Now, beautifully looks like quite nicely detailed, something with a lot of localizations as well. Some of the most iconic bridges in train networks are also in China as well. Now, along with the route itself as well, you get two lots of the of rolling stock. So you get two variants of the CRH1, which is the sort of first generation of Chinese designed and manufactured of high-speed trains. After using a lot of licensed international components previously, they sort of made a lot of stuff at home this time. So the CRH1A is the main stable of that you'll see on these ones, which are 8-car units. But then they also did create an overnight or a high-speed sleeper, which is the E variant. You get that modeled as well for this one. Now, along with those two trains, you get 15 scenarios with this one. You get so you get 3 with the E, with the sleeper variant, and then you get 12 with the A variant, doing various different, both across career and single standalone standard scenario modes as well. Again, as we usually see, fully compatible with Steam Workshop and Steam Workshop scenarios as well. Fully quick drive compatible for both the high-speed trains as well. So you're looking not too bad for a release that covers a lot of high-speed network. I'd be interested to see if it gets what kind of reception it gets. As I know, the first sort of venture of train sim into the high-speed trains in China was not well received by the community. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one goes. So yes, this one's available for $30 as a standalone, or it can be purchased a pack with the next release that's come out at the same time. Now the second release that's come out, of course, is the CRH 380A high-speed train add-on. So this is the latest, or the current, newest, and in production variant of high-speed rail trains in China. So this is the 380 series. So these things are actually insanely fast. So these are capable of speeds up to like 486 kilometers an hour. That's over 300 miles an hour. That's stupidly fast for something on the ground. Just saying. Anyway, they are, of course, restricted, of course, to 300 kilometers an hour, which is the speed limit on the Chinese rail network now. But yeah, it's got a lot of power behind them. So yes, you do get the alpha variant of this train, and this has been produced and looking quite solid with the way it's modelled, and you get the modelling of not just the actual main control cabin. You also get the modelling of the first, business, and economy passenger areas as well. So there's a lot of details gone into this add-on, looking very, very beautifully graphically as well. And as it's designed to complement the release of the Southwest China high-speed route. Now, of course, you do get 8 scenarios with this train. You get 3 for career mode and 5 for as a standard scenarios, including a tutorial. But if you want to be able to make use of said scenarios, you will need to have the high-speed route add-on as well. So that's why it may be useful to pick it up as the paired pack. But as I said, you do get the CRH 380A in the silver, white, and blue livery. But you also get the a inspection variant, which is basically a prototype variant of it. It was the first generation of it. It was a prototype, and it's then been converted after it's served as a technological proof of concept. It's now gone on to become a inspection vehicle, so it actually works the tracks, makes sure the tracks are all safe and the stations are safe as well. So looking pretty cool with that one. Both it's in the inspection livery and it's in original test drive or test livery as well. It's looking pretty cool. As I said, looking pretty amazing, pretty high detailed from the guys over at Just Trains. As I said, now this one is available for $20 by itself, or as I said, you can buy this and the route add-on as a pack for coming in for $39 and change. So you save a little bit, not much, but yeah, you do save a little bit on this one. So available now on Steam. Alrighty, folks, and moving on to another simulator this week. Still staying at ground level, but moving on to Ride 2. So moving on to the racetrack. So Ride 2 has come out with yet another bike pack. Seriously, they seem to be coming out with bike packs like every 2 weeks at the moment. They really do. So this has brought a couple of classic or bikes that have had their classic versions brought rebooted and brought back to life, as it were, or various classic features from other things. So for example, we've got the Kawasaki GPZ 900R Ninja. Now, for those who are flight sim related fans, you would love the fact that you can now ride the bike that Tom Cruise rode in the Top Gun film. Just saying, just FYI, if you almost a reason for me to buy this. Anyway, but yes, you do get that one in that one. For that one, you also get the MV Augusta Brutale 800, the Suzuki GSX R750R Le Mans LE edition. Sorry, not Le Mans. I'm thinking of another game now. The Triumph Scrambler 2016, which is essentially a rebuild of the classic Triumph from the 1940s, 30s, and 40s, and you get a Bimota DB9 Bravado S from 2014. So looking pretty damn amazing for this one. So if you want a bit of variety, something pretty cool and different to add to your Ride 2 collector, the Ride 2 collector bikes pack might be the one for you. Coming in at $6, available now on Steam. Alrighty, folks, that does wrap up the NovaWrap, the release news for the NovaWrap this week. So thank you very much for joining me. Before I go, just want to say, don't forget, folks, that if you haven't heard of it already, or if you haven't heard of it, and I don't know why or what rock you've been hiding under if you haven't heard of it, but for the flight simulation fans, don't forget that FlightSimCon 2017 is fast approaching us, coming up in June in Hartford, in Connecticut, in the United States. So I look forward to seeing many of you guys there. I will be in attendance once again this year. I'm really looking forward to that. Looking forward to meeting some of you guys and engaging in many of the very interesting panel discussions that are going to be on throughout the weekend. So I do really hope and encourage you to check out the website and consider coming along. It is a great weekend. You get to meet from some flight simulation developers and personalities from all over the globe there, and primarily though, even more than that, you actually get to reach out and you actually get to spend some time with fellow flight simulation fans from around the world. It's a really great, exciting time. But we will have some more information about the lineup of FlightSimCon coming up on this channel over the next few weeks, so just make sure you stay tuned. Otherwise, if you do want to pick up the tickets, I'll put the link for the website down in the description down below. Pick up some tickets now. There's some great accommodation deals, great flight deals, especially anybody coming from Europe as well, so I look forward to seeing many of you there. Alright folks, well that does now wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.